Hello everyone. In this lecture, we will talk about the file system in Linux. When we talk about the file system, the files are located in a hierarchical manner. So what is hierarchical structure or file system hierarchy standards in Linux? This is the structure which defines how the files or directory should be located on the system. Here, everything is started with a root directory. So root is the topmost directory of this file system hierarchy. So all the directories are the subdirectories of this root directory. Let me jump to my Linux system and let me show that where you can find this root directory. So here, if I say, let me log in with a root user, sudo su, and here ls command to list the files. So if I say ls and then root, so this is the topmost directory in the Linux. Now here you can see all these are the subdirectories. Like this directory, which is a Raman directory, this is under root, then home, and then Raman, right? So under Raman, these are the subdirectories. But the hierarchy of these files will be starting from the root. And so if you want to search, for example, this public directory, so you need to traverse from the root directory, then home, and then Raman, and at the end, you will reach to this public directory. So in Linux, the root directory is the topmost directory. Now, uh, next is the bin directory. So in Linux, everything is in the form of files. So for example, if I say ls -l long listing slash, and here you can see there is a directory which is called the bin directory. Actually, it is a soft link. So what is soft link? That we will see in our upcoming lectures. But soft link, as of now, you can think that it is a shortcut uh, key like we are using in Windows. Through that, we can point to a particular file. So here, bin is a soft link which is pointing to the user bin directory. Okay, so it means if I say ls and bin, so it is basically going to this directory and listing the content. So when I say ls root bin, actually, see here it is an error because it is slash and then bin. So here you can see all the executable files are here. Which files? For example, if you see maybe ls here, so if I say ls/bin and I want to see all the files which are started with ls. So here you can see there is a command ls is also. So ls is the executable file which is under bin directory. So any executable file which you want to refer to system wise, then you can put it under the bin directory. All the commands which we are using like echo command, ls command, make directory command, any command which we are using, all executables are residing under this bin directory. Next one is the boot directory. So this is the one which is having the boot files, right? So whenever your system gets started, it needs some files. So those files are available under the boot directory. So if I go here and if I say ls and under root boot, so here you can see these are the files which are basically used by the system during the time of booting. Next is dev file. So it includes the devices. So what is device means? Like your hard disk, right? Your terminals. So all these informations, all the device information is available under this device file. So again, if I say ls/dev. So these are the device files. So here you can see all these are the terminal related thing, and you will see something called SDA. So this is basically this is the hard disk, right? And right. So other any hardware devices in the form of file, it is under the dev directory. Next one is the etc. So etc is basically this is the system-wide configuration files and the shell script which you want to uh, define for the for all the users, right? For example, if I talk about the password, so etc and password file. So this is the file which is basically contains the password of the users. Same way, there is a file which is group. So this is a file which contains the uh, group informations, means the users which are part of a group. So those groups information you will find under the etc. So this is the system level configuration for all the users. So it defines the behavior. Next is the home directory. We have seen multiple times. So whenever a user get created by default, we give the directory which is the home directory. Like I'm logged in as a root at this moment, but my home directory uh, for the Raman will be Raman. So this is the directory where Raman's uh, profile files or other files which we want to uh, use for user point of view, all will be under the home directory. If you see ls and Raman, so this is basically the desktop documents related to Raman user is residing under this directory. Next one is the lib directory. So lib directory is basically it contains the essential shared libraries that are required by the bin or sbin. Sbin is a system admin binaries to run. For example, you have Python installed. Now, Python application executable will be under bin directory, but its supporting libraries will be under lib Python directory. Let us check that. So if I go here and if I say ls/lib, so here you can see there are many supporting libraries, depends upon how many applications you have installed. Like I have Python 3.9. So it contains all the supporting libraries for Python. So like it has the site packages, and these are the files and folders which is required to run the Python application. Here is one more interesting thing, that is under lib, you will find one file which is os underscore release. Let me just ls that first. So os hyphen release. So os hyphen release, right? Com uh, complete information about the operating system release. Like if someone asks what is the operating system you are using, so you can basically use this particular file to show hostname.ctl also you can use, right? So here you can see it is the name of the operating system, which version is using, what is the ID, and so many other things, right? So this is the lib directory. Now, next one is media. So media is basically used to mount the removable devices like CD-ROM, DVD, USB, etc. So how it will be stored? /media/CD-ROM. So it depends that if you attach some devices, which is the removable devices, then we use this media directory. Similar way, there is a temporary mount point, which is /mnt. So this is basically used for the partitioning purposes or mount some devices. It is similar to media, but it is used for temporarily mounting the files, system or devices by the system administrator. For example, you want to store some partition data into /mnt and /data. So then you can use this /mnt. OPT is the optional third-party packages which are not part of the standard system distribution. You can use this. For example, you have some Google-related softwares, then you can store it under the /opt Google. So these are the optional software packages, right? Like under root OPT, there is a LAMP, which is basically a web server package, XAMPP web server package. Then we are having proc. Proc is having the process related information. If I go to this directory, which is /proc, right? So you can see all the runtime processes information will be here, right? So there are some other informations like C group, CPU info. So that uh, is also under this particular directory. So if I say cat and under proc, I want to see the CPU information. So it shows the CPU information. So here you can see that it is using processor. This CPU family is 23, model name is this AMD Ryzen, right? So this is and other information about the CPU uh, related to the processors, how much CPU it is consumed. So all that information you can find under the proc directory. Right? So a virtual system provides the information about the running processes and system parameter. It does not contain the actual files, but provides the view of kernel and process data. Right? So like you can see the CPU information. Same way you can see the memory information, how much memory is used by all these processes, status. Uh, So we can see the status means status of process one. Usually it is in it, right? So, right. Now there is a root directory. So this is a special type of directory which is for the system administrator or the root user. So all the root related, like for a user, there is a root and home directory where user related profile files and other files are available. So same way for the root user or the super user, the information is under this directory, which is under root. Then there is a run directory. It is basically a runtime variable data. If you are having runtime information, for example, how many users are currently logged in, then you can find this information under the run. So it's a temporary file system that stores information about the system's runtime status, such as PID file, system information that is required before where directory is available. So let us see that one. So if I go to, um, all right, just a moment. If I go to this directory /run, right? And so you can see these all are the runtime libraries which are currently in use. So for example, we'll take the simple example of user. So here you can see that ls and run and then user. So it is showing how many users are basically currently logged in. So this is the ID number. So see this, currently I'm logged in with a user Raman and root user. So root user ID is 0. Same way if I exit from here and if I say ID, so my user ID is 1000. So it is basically showing there currently two users are logged in. One is user 0 and second is user 1000. Right. So, so that is the purpose of run directory. Now, let us talk about the sbin directory. Sbin is a system binaries. So this is the one which contains the binary files which are related for the system administration tasks, like your reboot, shutdown, right? Uh, File system check, if config, etc. So let us see that also. So if I go, let me again log in with a root user. And if I say ls and sbin, so here you can see all the files which are admin related tasks, like you want to shut down the system. So there is a binary shutdown. It will not be in the bin directory. It will be in the sbin directory. Right. Now there is a service data. So service data is basically that stores the service provided by the system to user. For example, web or FTP data. So instead of dumping everything into where or home directory, so the best way is that you can use the SRV directory, which is the service data. Okay, so it will be empty at this moment. If I say ls and srv, so because we don't have any data, but if you want to share the data to others, then you can use other processes or maybe to other systems. Then you can keep that data here, like your FTP related data, some HTML files, right? Or web related data. Now, next is the temp file. So temp directory is the one which is having temporary files. Uh, it is the one which is temporary. Temporary means whenever you um, reboot the system, these are often get deleted. So don't put your um, files which you want to preserve. So persistent data is not kept under the temp directory. So again, we can go here and we can see ls and root temp. So these are some directories which are temporary directories, right? So next is the USR, which is the user utilities and applications. So anything which is like user binary data, user library data, user uh, data, which is architecture independent data files. So you put it under the USR files. So it contains the user related programs and data, including software application documentation. It is one of the largest directory in the Linux system. Again, we will go back here. And if I say ls and slash user, so you can see these are the binaries. If you notice that when we have this ls minus l and bin directory, root bin, so this is basically pointing to the user bin only. Same way, if I search for the sbin, so it is pointing to user sbin. So users, system, admin tasks, user binary files, etc. Now, next is the where. Where is basically used for um, means the files that are expected to change frequently, like log files, mail, spools, or database files. So most of the log files system related log files you will find under the where log directory. Let us go here. And if I say ls slash where, so here you can see that there are many types of files are there. And that is ls where if I say log, right? So here you can see system related or application related log files. You can find it over here, right? So this is boot.log, right? And this is dnf.log, right? So This is cron log files. This is the last log. This is the main log, right? So like that, you will be having almost all the log files here. So, so it contains those files. All right. So here I have summarized. So, uh, so this is the basically file system hierarchy. Let me just walk through if something is left. Yeah. So yeah, I think I have covered everything. So that's it for this lecture, and see you in the next lecture with some more interesting commands related to this file system. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.